Titan Zed here, back to do another video review. Going to be reviewing a figure that I've honestly wanted to review for a long time. And since I did a figure review for something from Transformers Armada already, and I've done a figure review for something from Transformers Cybertron, I figured I might as well review a figure from Energon. Now, the ones from Armada and Cybertron are some of my favorites, particularly from Armada. Starscream is probably my most favorite Armada toy. Cybertron is probably my second favorite. Primus is my second favorite Cybertron toy. But my favorite Energon toy, or Transformer, is hands down its largest figure. Transformers Energon Omega Supreme. Now, I absolutely love this toy, despite how massively big it is. And the fact for this review, just so I could get everything in frame this time, I've had to put the camera much farther back, which is a real shame because it means I'm going to have to stretch really far. Actually get up out of my seat to turn the camera off when I'm done with the review. But, yeah, it is one of my favorites. Not only is it a just massive Transformer, which is really nice, it is also a Headmaster, which is my favorite concept for Transformers. And I really hope in the upcoming Generations line, which is supposed to feature a Voyager Brainstorm and a deluxe Hardhead, that these both are actual Headmaster Transformers and not just they transform and their heads stay in place. I really want... If there's one gimmick I think that Hasbro should take multiple stabs at, it is the Headmaster concept. Now, Omega Supreme does split into two halves. His battleship mode, which is a massive battleship, by the way. I really love the way this one is designed, especially with that big, huge engine in the back. I really love it. Now, the Omega Supreme figure can actually integrate into this side of the figure. What you do is you lift this up, put him inside here, and close it, or kind of close up the top. What it is adding some extra detail to the bridge. Because, as you can maybe see, there's a big, huge hole there. And this is what I also like, because they thought about it when they were making this Headmaster. They made sure that the head could go somewhere outside of robot mode. And although they did do that in the G1 figures, all they really did was make a cockpit. So it's nothing too surprising. I mean, you just know it's going to be the cockpit. Here, Omega Supreme's head literally becomes part of the bridge, which is awesome. This mode also features the lights and sounds, as well as the rotation gimmick. If you rotate a certain section of the front of the ship, it'll turn the cannons in opposite directions. If you turn it far enough, it will make a cannon sound. Granted, the gear work on here isn't exactly very good. It can get misaligned when turning. It also has a button here on the side which will fire that sound, which I swear comes from Star Trek somewhere. And also has the LED lights up here on the front. This is my favorite half of the figure. The other half is supposed to be a train. I've never seen a train with actual wheels. I think this was supposed to be modeled after some bullet trains I believe they may have used in Japan at one time, which were specifically for construction purposes, because a lot of trains actually pass through major cities in Japan. Some of them have been outfitted with the construction equipment that can be used to help with building construction and such right from the tracks. But it doesn't exactly look good, especially with this part. This part is used for the combined mode with Optimus and with Optimus and his Prime Force. Because it needs this part to connect, one of the wheels gets completely cut out, which doesn't look very good. Also, it just seems, because With this half, you transform a lot. You move a lot of parts around to get this ship. With this, you just kind of lay the leg flat, turn the foot down, and lay the arm down, and that's about it. It doesn't do anything else. It's very boring. So, yeah. Now, these two halves can combine into what is most likely, most fans have dubbed the longest transformer. Not the tallest, just the longest. You put this one first, this one second, combine them together for one massive ship. That would most likely make the ship from Spaceballs look impudent. Because you gotta remember, this Omega Supreme was a massive transformer, towering over Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime could hold a human in his hand like that. So, yeah, it's a big ship. Now, combining the two, it has... I will give it one thing. Close to 10 years later, I think. Energon came out in 2005, I think. Close to... either somewhere around 10 years, the joints are still tight and holding together great. I picked this figure up on BigBadToyStore.com. Shortly, I think, after picking up my Transformers Energon Optimus Prime. I looked for this figure, and just so happened there was two there. One for $100 and one for $90. I picked up the $90 one because all it was really missing was its missiles for the one missile pod up here. And I could live without the missiles. Now, you'd think something as complex as putting two halves of a robot together would be a little complex, but honestly, I've never had too much trouble actually putting these two together. So, and there you go. Now, you'd say, put the head, shouldn't I be putting the head on? Well, one thing, I gotta show you something. The one problem with Headmasters was if you lost the head, the robot was incomplete. Well, the guys who were making this kind of thought of that and went ahead and designed the neck post can be pulled up to reveal a smaller head. Essentially, you know, you have an extra head right there. I love that design. That's an incredibly cool idea, in my opinion. So, with the head, let's get this out of the way just a little bit more so I can bring it up closer. What you want to do is pretty much fold the legs down and fold the head up, or fold the arms up to form the head antenna. I kind of wish these legs and arm antenna would click into place, but I guess I can deal with it not doing that now. And then, of course, you bring this up to reveal his head, which is really hard to see, honestly, with that glass container on his face. So, and what you do is you just push this head down and plop it into place. Something else I'll note, the head connection there is really, really strong. I've had this figure like fall, unfortunately. Nothing broke. And the head was still attached. It takes a fair amount of force to pull that head off. I am very impressed. This also has immensely heavy ratchet joints, which it obviously needs because it's just humongous. Now, I've already mentioned the aforementioned lights and sounds, which is awesome. Something I didn't mention in train mode, which I don't really know if that would be useful in train mode, is his other arm can do... Well, let's see if I can... Well, oh yeah, make me a liar now. Thanks. Okay. Yes. It punches forward, kind of like an old, you know... Well, most times it punches forward. It punches... Well, son of a gun. Doesn't like me today. It'll punch forward. I kind of like that. If there was only one other thing about the figure I wish was a little different, was his hand over here is supposed to be like his three-clawed hand, like from G1, but they made the top hand just one big piece. I kind of wish they split that down the middle to make it three pieces. I understand why they did do it, because I'm pretty sure the cost of this figure is already ginormous. I can't imagine putting a feature like adding another feature like that on would make it any less cheaper. So yeah. If I have any complaints, is obviously he is a big figure. You're going to have a very large open shelf to display this in robot mode and in its 2 vehicle modes. Though again, it is a very impressive figure. If you can find it, now there is a new version with a different type of arm, which is a more G1 accurate arm. If you guys can find that, I would recommend picking that one up. But if you'd rather have the Energon version, I'd recommend this one too. It's a very nice figure, and currently, until I can find a cheaper Metroplex from Generations, is the largest figure in my collection, and I still love it. Yeah, be careful with that button. It's actually very sensitive compared to the rest of him. But yeah, it is an awesome figure, and hopefully somewhere down the road I can do Energon, Optimus Prime, and show off the combined mode. But yeah, I do love this figure. If you can find him, I would recommend him. I wouldn't recommend, at least the condition I have him in, where he's just missing the missiles but still has his head. If you can find him with his head, I wouldn't pay probably anywhere between $80 to $90. If you find him with everything, missiles, and I don't know if he had any other accessories, I don't think he did, wouldn't pay any under at least $100. But that's just me. Still, I think he's an awesome figure. He's also a very hefty figure, so just to warn you, if you get him and you're going to want to put him on the shelf, make sure that shelf is really well bolted to whatever it's connected to, because this guy probably weighs a good 2 pounds. So, yeah. But, until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.